Hey, good morning. Welcome to Your Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Thank you for your kind and generous comments. I certainly do appreciate it. Thank you for sharing my videos. You know, I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody said it was in scripture. I didn't see it, but I'm sure somebody smarter than me will point it out, and I'd like to read it. I was told that when somebody is saved, gets baptized, repents, joins the flock, there is rejoicing amongst the angels. It makes them happy. And in my case, I sure would like to hear, instead of a solo angel just doing a little, good job, Greg, I'd like to have a chorus. So if you can help me out, and let's get a hallelujah going on in the chorus for when I meet God in person again. Instead of a cappella, I'd like to have a chorus. So if you can help me do that, I sure would appreciate it. And that's just a little joke there. But I'm happy for anyone. It's not just for me, for anything else. So that's just a little joke, little sarcasm. Anyway, a couple things. I was thinking about the chemical spill in Palestine, East Palestine, last night. And everybody has their opinion. Everybody's doing this. It's such a tragedy, and FEMA's doing this. But do you know something? When the Biden administration took over and everybody went woke, FEMA was one of them, and I covered this. I covered this on my prior videos. When they went woke, they had terms of service in there under the Criswell administration, the woman that's in charge of it. And the criteria is everybody else gets service first, except for the white community, and they're last in line. East Palestine is a majority of white people. They're last in line. They're victims of wokeism. How tragic is that? And that's my opinion. They're saying, no. But look what happened. They were rejected for FEMA aid and help. Why? In my opinion, it's because of wokeism in the FEMA. You're the last community to get help because you're white. So now you're suffering. You're drinking poison potentially. You're breathing poison potentially. Your animals are dying. And now that the outrage has occurred, all of a sudden now it's like, okay. So now they're sending a woke black administrator to render help. And I don't care what color you are. When you need help, you need help. There shouldn't be any woke about it. And if you doubt me, look it up under FEMA administration. Community equity. Community equity. They're going to help gay communities first. They're going to help minority communities that are underserved and have been underserved. So they're going to make it up to those communities by punishing white communities. You think about that. Another betrayal of the American people by this administration. And the sodomite Pete Buttigieg, he's nowhere to be found. He's just lollygagging around. Oh, let me take maternity leave so I can practice breastfeeding my child. He's still MIA. He's off touring different little locations and everything else and saying, oh, wait a minute, I actually have to do something besides take maternity leave with my husband. Neither one can breastfeed, neither one raised the child, but he certainly is throwing it in the face of you women out there who actually did go through the labor pains and suffering and actually take pride in raising a child, nursing that child, and everything else. He's making a mockery of marriage. But that's this administration. That's my opinion. It's got me so riled up first thing Sunday morning. But here's another one. Folks, the betrayals will not stop as long as these people are in charge. They continue to march forward on a new world order, Agenda 2030, and doing everything possible to betray you and me to the New World Order. And I have an article here. I made notes, as always, it's through the Epic Times Health section. And if this doesn't get your goats, if this doesn't scare the bejeebies out of you, then I don't know what to tell you. And this is the headlines on Epic Times Health Week. And if you're not a subscriber of Epic Times, I would subscribe to that. It's money well spent. It really is. There is a lot of detailed information that YouTube does not allow them to put on. They are censored. They have strikes against them. You can find them on Rumble, or you can view it on your computer, your tablet, or your phone, or anything else. Epic Times, EPOCH. I highly recommend it. Here's the headline, February 18th. Biden administration negotiates deal to give World Health Organization, W.H.O, authority over U.S. pandemic policies. The author, the investigative reporter on this, is Kevin Stocklin, and this is as of February 18th. Now, I read the article. I had to reread the article because this is a complete and total betrayal. This is a complete movement towards one world government, one world order, and if you think I'm imagining it, you're out of your mind. This is no longer a conspiracy theory and said, everybody's afraid of the UN. It's right here in front of you. They're negotiating it. The health secretary, Becerra, who has no experience in health, he was the attorney general of California that ran off everybody under the Second Amendment and First Amendment. So they said, he's a good one. He's a good enforcer. We'll put him over here and take away your health rights. And that's exactly what they're attempting to do. And it could be very legal. Why? It's based on a provisional basis. They're negotiating a binding treaty based on provisional basis, so it only takes effect if they declare a pandemic. Now, it's more than that. This is so insidious, so evil. You should be absolutely on the phone talking to whoever your senator is. Sherrod Brown here in Ohio is absolutely useless when it comes to conservative thinking or anything else. He's just a puppet of the unions. He's bought and paid for. He's a liberal hack that does nothing. And he says, he helps the veterans. Look up the veteran administration. Look at the veteran group he helps. Extreme left wing that promotes wokeism, that undermines our military. Look it up. J.D. Vance is new. I don't know how much pull he has, but he'll be getting a phone call from me, making him aware of this if he isn't already. This theoretical treaty is being negotiated right now. They're having another meeting to make this effective and take away your health rights. How are they going to do it? It's based on a provisional basis. So another pandemic comes out, and they've already said it's coming. They've already said another pandemic is coming. So what does that mean? Under this treaty, the World Health Organization says, guess what? Everybody's locked down, and it is binding. The government here in the United States says, the World Health Organization says, worldwide lockdown, you have to do it. We will enforce it. And if you do not lock down, because the World Health Organization is now in charge, we're going to arrest you. We are going to put military on the streets and enforce that until they do. Guess what else, folks? Guess what else? They control the medicines concerning this pandemic. They said, okay, you can have ivermectin, but you can't have hydroxychloroquine. You can have the Pfizer Moderna shots, but you can't have anything else. And guess what else? There is no religious exemption. Period. Everybody gets it. No exceptions. And if you refuse, you will be locked up and then injected against your will. That's how horrible this treaty is. And that's what they're doing right now under this Biden administration. Now, since it's provisional, they already know the law, and the Supreme Court, state of Mississippi versus Holland, the Supreme Court said, yeah, treaties supersede state law. And since this is provisional, it doesn't have to go through the Senate to be ratified. So in other words, they've negotiated a treaty, they're making it binding, but until the pandemic occurs, another pandemic occurs, the Senate can't ratify it. But once the pandemic occurs, it's effective immediately, bypassing our Constitution. That's how evil these people really are. It's under the world together equitably. And where have you heard equitably before? Oh, let's see. Green New Deal, Agenda 2030, equality, equitably. Spread the wealth, share the wealth. Race relations taught in school. You got to be equal. You're a white person. You've had too much, so we're going to take it away from you and give it to others so it can be equitable. FEMA, underserved communities in the past will now be moved to the top of the line. Hey, East Palestine, did you know that? Did you know that? You're a white community. You got moved to the bottom of the list. Nobody told you. And when the train wreck happened, guess what? You didn't get it. But that's how these people are doing it. It's based on equality. They're going to make it fair for everybody. You got too much. Also under this treaty, it controls the medicines that are issued and how much, as well as your supply chain. Pete Buttigieg, hey, you're vacant MIA. Guess what? The World Health Organization says, guess what? Stop all trains, planes, and boats. We're in control of that now, and we're going to decide who gets what, where, and how much medicine. And also the hospitals. You doctors that say, yeah, I don't agree with I have other medicines that work better. Not anymore. They're going to be required by this treaty, by this law, forcing you to give the mandated vaccines. That's what the treaty says right here. Covers lockdowns, distribution chains, enforcement of WHO laws and treaties. That's what these people are doing, folks. It's exactly what they're doing. It's what they're attempting to do. Another betrayal controlling your healthcare. So what does the New World Order do? Controls the food, sustainable, green new energy. You can't have meat, but you're going to grow greens. Energy, solar. Get rid of the fossil fuels because it's bad for the planet. We're going to control that. We're going to force you out of your cars. Where you can live. Open borders. Let's change the status of nations. And now we're going to control your health care. So if you get sick and you refuse we're going to make you take it, or else you're going to die. Because there is no other treatment other than what the World Health Organization says there will be. Control the money, control the medicine, control the food, you control the world. Think about that. Henry Kissinger said something very similar to that. Get yourself right with God. It's coming, folks. It is absolutely coming. Absolutely coming. The time of lawlessness, the introduction of the coming Antichrist, everything is lining up. It's not a conspiracy theory when it's true. Get yourself baptized. Submerged in water. Throw that other person a lifeline. Greg out.